Moving on to the next game, probably the most lopsided one. Sterling, I'll let you start. Sterling, you can start this one off, man. Dolphins at Bills.
Yeah, that's terrible. I mean, I think it's simple. I don't think there's too much that needs to be said. If Tua plays, I think this is a Bills favored by 2.5. That's how much of an impact he has on this offense. If Teddy Bridgewater played, I'd say it was a nine point swing. But like Skylar Thompson, is that his name?
Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, G. You can tell Mama you played in the playoffs, but look, I'm open for a surprise, but I think it's gonna get ugly. Like I think the Bills, this gonna be like the first game, obviously in front of the home crowd. I feel like the first home playoff game for like a top higher seeded team, they usually spank whatever team and get the crowd hype, get that Bills Nation hype. I don't think there's really any stats that need to be pulled out. Again, like obviously Miami's beat them. I'm sure Miami beat them this year. But
Yeah,
again,
Yes, they
Tua,
split.
Tua, you gotta put some respect on him. They put weapons around him. They did what they're supposed to do for him, and he performed. He just couldn't stay healthy. So I think I agree with the spread. It'd probably be a 14. It might be a 21 point game. But I see it getting ugly in the first half, honestly.
Go ahead, Dev.
Yeah. So I think the Bills are the most motivated. They probably have the most reason to go into these playoffs really wanting to win. Right. We all know the Hamlin situation, but please remember the Bills in that Kansas City game last year in the playoffs, where they lost the toss in Kansas City, put them out. And yeah, I think this has been the story for them all season, this second season, and now they're here. So this is where Josh Allen gets to show what it is he is. The only concern, really, to me, is if Skylar Thompson has the ability to get the ball to Waddle and Hill in space. Those guys are game breakers, right? And I don't think we know enough about Skylar Thompson. Obviously, he played in the game against the Jets. Didn't do much, about 150 yards. But I don't think we know enough about him. And I am pretty sure the Dolphins, it was a must-win game, but hadn't really given him the full playbook, right? So now he gets another week of practice. He gets another week of working with those receivers. Again, do I think this is the difference? No. I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate of how the Dolphins can win, even though I think the Bills are going to win, right? I don't think the time to be making your second start is on the road in Buffalo. And you got to factor that in. I think it's probably in the 80s in Miami this week. And I think I heard, and I'm sure somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, that the Bills game at kickoff, it should be in the 20s. That's a major difference. And it is a major difference when I live in that weather because, I'm a little bit more acclimated. My blood's a little bit thicker. Not cold is cold, but, I'm a little bit more acclimated versus I'm coming up from Miami. Listen, I was in Cleveland in December. And as I was there were people that, hey, it was warm to them. It was okay to them. And I was dying. I thought I was about to freeze, right? But I'm coming from Jacksonville into Cleveland. They've been there. They've been there as the tide kind of turned in terms of weather. So they got to deal with that a little bit more gradually than the guys, than the guy coming from Florida. And that's going to be the same situation in this game. That cannot be discounted. That's why Buffalo wants home field advantage in the playoffs, because you got to go play that game in Buffalo with the wind and the cold and those type of things. And those are the things that Josh Allen and this team are built for. Like I said, the only hope for Miami is they get the ball to Waddle and Hill in space. And those guys, if you told me right now that Skylar Thompson throws for 150 yards, I'm going to tell you I got the Bills by 21.
Yeah, and like another thing that's a little underrated with this game is Raheem Mostert has been ruled out for the game too. So they're starting running backs out. So the Bills.
Now they do have Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, but I think the Bills, they have a top 10 defense. They're going to force this kid to like throw the ball around the field. They have a lot of weapons, but you have to get the ball, somebody's got to get the ball to them. So I think the Bills are going to win by like 3 tuds.
Yeah, I could see a blowout. I mean, ESPN has it at 96% to 4.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a playoff game too. That's crazy. I'm hoping that all these games are competitive, but I mean, if we're gonna be realistic about things, they're probably gonna blow them out. Buffalo's 7-1 at home this year. That's gonna be a big deal, obviously, and it is later in the year. So like my dad was saying, for Miami to come up there, it's gonna be harsh for them. But and also, like my dad said, they do have Tyreek Hill, they do have Jalen Waddle, so anything can happen. We've seen games where they both go for 180 apiece or 170 apiece. It just depends if Mike McDaniel, I think his name is Mike Daniels, whatever his name is, if they could, if they could run jet sweeps and stuff like that, just to get them out in space and one-on-one and make them make plays on the edge. I'm not going to say they don't have a chance. Obviously, the betting favorite is highly for Buffalo, but I would be surprised if the Dolphins won, but it wouldn't be like the end of the world to me. Like I think, I mean, the team is talented. I'd be more surprised if they were able to stop Buffalo's defense. But like if the Dolphins scored 24 points and won 24-21, I wouldn't be like, oh my goodness, because they have 2 of the fastest receivers in the NFL, arguably the most electric player in the NFL. So it wouldn't shock me by any means, unless Skyler went and threw for 400 yards. Then that would be the only way that I'm like, what just happened? But if he just can dunk the whole game and did screen passes and stuff like that, and they won, I wouldn't be surprised. Does anybody else have anything else to say about the blowout?
Is Teron Armstead is questionable. I mean, obviously, I think, like I said, I made my pick. I think it's going to be lopsided. Obviously, that's like a top 5, maybe top 3 left tackle or right tackle, whatever tackle in the game. If he doesn't play, I mean, that's big. Obviously, I'm seeing that Mostert's out.
Yeah.
I think Jeff Wilson is a better running back. I'd rather have Jeff Wilson personally, but yeah, Teron Armstead questionable. So if he doesn't play, I mean, it's really wraps because I don't know who they're sticking out there.
Yeah, and just like the Ravens this year saw exactly what Miami could do with big plays. I mean, they got 2 of the best big play receivers in the league, so. Yeah. If Skyler can put it together to get the deep ball down, I mean, the game could, and Josh Allen's throwing some interceptions too. So
and he does turn the ball over a lot.
So, yeah.